Hello, I'm Kanmani. I'm delighted to introduce myself as a professional hired by the Canadian government to manage the Organization of International Trade Information and Data. My role is pivotal in promoting and advancing the international trade interest of Canada. I am dedicated to facilitating the flow of crucial data that contributes to the success and growth of Canada's global trade operation.
Canadian economic performance was robust in 2022, advancing with 3.4% compared to its G7 peers. Canada has seen the second strongest recovery from the pandemic shock. The factors that influence country's real GDP's growth in 2022 for Canada was with the health of the labor market, including employment level and wage growth that influence consumer spending and overall economic activities, which have been increased over 5 years. It's from 2018 to 2022. A strong job market tends to support higher GDP growth. The second point was Canada's economic performance have been influenced by the state of the global economy. If major trading partners experience increase in economic growth, it can boost the demand for the Canada's exports, positively impact the country's GDP. Canada's service industries grew faster at 3.7% than the goods industry at 3.4% in 2022. Service growth was led by professional and technical service and public-facing industries such as accommodation and food service, which benefit the removal of COVID-19 related restrictions.
Canada's international trade posted new records again in 2022, increasing by 21.2% during the year. Goods and services export reached a record 940 billion. Goods and service imports are marked new high also, advancing by 20.5% in 2022, with exports progressing faster than import. Canada posts a good and service trade surplus amounting to 4.1 billion in 2022. According to this, countries around the world engage in bilateral and multilateral trade agreements, and Canada is known for its participation in various trade partnerships. Other countries can establish trade relationships with Canada either through existing agreement or through negotiation for new trade deals. The positive trade balance and high trade to GDP ratio suggest that Canada is an attractive trading partner.
Next, Canadian goods and service trade breaks the record in 2022. Total export rose 21.5% in 22, which represent an increase more than 142 billion. More than half of this increase, 76.9 billion, was driven by the surge of export and energy products. Excluding energy products, Canada's merchandise exports rose 13.2% in 2022. Next, export of crude oil more than 50.8% contribute to the most of the growth export in Canada, largely due to the strong price increase. Next, export of natural gas more than 85% also grew in 2022. Once again, price increase contribute the most in the gain. I strongly believe the increase in export it often open up for various trade policy possibilities and opportunities for the both exporting country and its trading partners. In this case of Canada, where export increased by 21.2% in 2022, several trade possibilities and advantage may emerge like market expansion, diversification of export products, and strengthening existing trade partnership.
There is a decline in both Canadian direct investment abroad (CDIA) and foreign direct investment (FDI) flows in 2022. There are still several positive points. Despite the decline, both CDIA and FDI flows remained above their average of the pre-pandemic decade, 2010 to 2019. This suggests that despite the decrease in 2022, the overall investment activity is still relatively strong compared to the years preceding the pandemic. Next, reinvested earnings were mentioned as a significant component of CDIA flows, reaching a record 61.6 billion. Reinvested earnings were also the largest component of FDI flows in nearly every year over the past decade. This indicates that companies are choosing to reinvest their profit, which can be seen as a positive sign of confidence in the business environment. The initial shock of the COVID-19 pandemic affected female workers to a much larger extent than their male counterparts. However, women were keen to get back to work. Several factors could have driven the strong return to women to the job market. For example, the participation rate of women with young children subsequently in 2022 compared to 2029, which may have been incentivized by additionally childcare support or greater flexibility of the work arrangements.
Canada is strong in labor market, especially in integrating women back into the workforce, showcase its economic resilience. The dynamic economic marked by positive trend in female labor force participation benefit from flexibility and government support programs. Canada's commitment to diversity is evident. Its growing talent of pools, fostering a collaborative and innovative environment. I strongly believe that the countries who are going to trade with Canada will be benefit. Thank you.